What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unexpected Consequences on KBVR Corvallis. As always, I am your host, Griffin Tennell, and my very special guest for the day is the one, the only, Nick Miller. Nick, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you? It's good to finally be here.
I'm doing great. It's funny. Last episode with Alex, I introduced it, talking about how nice and sunny it is. Yeah. And today all we've had is rain.
Yeah, it was like a total flip-flop from yesterday. Yesterday I was sweating profusely. I mean, that was self-inflicted though, because like I was wearing jeans and a button-up long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, flannel, right?
No, it wasn't a flannel. It was a plaid. It was a plaid shirt. It was just like I was trying to look like, I don't know, like
decent.
Yeah, not presentable, because I had like a graduation thing I had to go to. But
okay, so business casual.
Yeah, business casual, essentially. Yeah.
All right.
Although I was told that like I wasn't even in the ballpark of business casual. Nice catch.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Pencil just slipped out of your hand.
People can't see it, but
yeah, well, it was pretty sweet anyway.
So welcome to Unexpected Consequences. This is the story show every Thursday on KBVR Corvallis, where once a week I bring in a guest. We talk about some stories, talk about life, have a little bit of fun. So Nick, the question that I will ask every person until I decide to change it. Fun fact: I'm actually taking that from a different podcast that I listen to called Pockets Full of Soup.
Pockets full of soup.
Yeah, great name, right?
That's just impractical.
Yeah, well, you gotta listen to the story. But yeah, the first question I'll ask everyone until I decide to change it. Tell me a story.
All right. Well, so this goes back to when I was about 4 or 5. Okay.
All right.
And
young Nick Miller.
Yeah, I was but a wee bab, and I have an older sister named Alexa who I love very much, and who is going to look very bad at the end of this story.
Good to know. I really hope she's listening now.
Yeah. Maybe she saw the Facebook post. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Anyway.
Well, we'll cut it out and send it to her specifically.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I was, we were watching like Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or something like that, you know, something stupid. And there's a scene in one of these shows we used to watch. I think it might have been Even Stevens or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Shia LaBeouf. Anyway.
Shout out revoked.
Okay. My boy Shia. Anyway, so there's a scene where one of the characters is hung up on a coat hook by his underpants. And my sister looked at that, and she was, I think, 7 at the time. She looks at that and just goes, yeah, we could do that. So, as you can imagine, she recruits me, to which I just go, yeah, I got nothing better to do. I'm 4. So, you know, we go into the laundry room, which is like just like this little hallway that has the washer, dryer, and some like a coat rack on the wall, like drilled into the wall. And so she grabs a chair from the kitchen or the dining room, and sets, you know, I step up, and she grabs me by the underpants, and she tries to stretch it, and it's like the elastic isn't like stretchy enough. So she's like, okay, what can we do? So we had to compromise, and she grabbed me by the shirt collar and flicked it over the coat rack.
Oh no.
Right?
Oh,
and then she's like, okay, Nick, I'm going to take the chair from under you, and I want you to do a little hop, okay? So I do the hop, and she pulls the chair from under me, and immediately I come just crashing down, hit, you know, butt on the floor. But not just me. I bring the coat rack down with me. No. I tear it from the wall. And there's just a big thud.
Wait, how is this thing supported on the wall? Like
nails, like drills into the wall.
Oh God, you really had to.
I ripped it, man. Like, you know, and at the time I was aware I was a chubby kid, but like that was sad, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't think those are meant to support the weight of a human.
No, probably not. But
maybe a small dog.
Yeah. So maybe like a chihuahua or a rat. Anyway. So my mom, bless her heart, comes running in livid. You know, she is ready to kill. You know, and she just looks at us, and it's just like with the most, just like, oh my God, like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I remember those looks.
Yeah, and thankfully I did not get in trouble. My sister, I think that was the first time my sister got grounded though.
I mean, I could see her getting grounded for that. That
Yeah.
seems like a groundable offense.
You know, she's like, my mom was like, you're 4, so like you were probably just told like, hey, do this thing, and you were like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
And but like my sister was the mastermind of that situation, and yeah, and so that was a fun little story.
Yeah, so here's a question for you.
Okay.
Has your sister pulled any jokes on you since? Because I feel like that would just be the beginning of this.
No, nothing quite like that. That was very much like a in the moment kind of thing. I can't really, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything like that she's done since. Although one time I do remember, I think there was like a stretch of time, like I think like a day or whatever, where she didn't talk to me. Like she refused to acknowledge my existence because I drew on her Jonas Brothers poster. Like I gave him mustaches and eye patches and, you know, the generic stuff. And like,
hey, poster, let's draw on that.
yeah, I wrote like quote bubbles that said, I suck and stuff like that, you know.
The basic little kid.
Yeah, I think I was like 12 or something.
Like if you see, heaven forbid, you see a picture of someone in a history textbook.
Yeah, right.
That guy's going to have a mustache on his
Oh,
face.
oh yeah. Or, you know, something inappropriate written
Yeah, we're little kids.
in a quote or a thought bubble, you know.
Now, let's jump into a couple things I saw there.
Okay.
You mentioned your sister.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you and your sister have a pretty good relationship?
Yeah, we are very close now, but for a very long time we were very estranged from each other. Well, not estranged, that's an over-exaggeration, but we were very cold to each other for a long time. We kind of, you know, living with this other person who's very different from you. You know, her and I are very different people. We're similar in a lot of ways and we're very different in a lot of ways. But at that time, we thought I was convinced we weren't related, you know, like I was like, I was adopted or she was adopted or something, you know, like, or, you know, somebody was, you know, doing something nefarious anyway, pulling a prank on me or something. 'Cause I was like geek gamer guy, you know, stayed indoors a lot, didn't leave the house very much. And she was like gone all the time, you know, like never home, hated, you know, eating dinner with the family, all that good junk, the typical teenager stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was on dance team and very, you know, I guess from my point of view, I thought she was quote unquote popular. You know, and she kind of to me represented that. And so I ran in the other direction.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know my brother and I are very different as well. We've gotten closer though, as with me being gone. But I'm the same way as you, where I'm like, okay, just gonna kind of just hang out here. Like I like this. I like being at home right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can definitely like. My brother's only in 7th grade, but he's already like, okay, how far can I push this?
Yeah.
How far does this boundary go?
Oh, yeah.
And then can I go further?
And he's the younger one, so he can get away with a lot more.
Yeah.
Whether that's subconscious or conscious, you know.
Yeah. It's hard to tell depending on the day.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the bugger, but
I know what you mean.
there's times.
Yeah.
But I mean that's part of the whole sibling thing, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think once the older sibling leaves, you realize you miss that person because you realize just how similar and how close you are and how much you know about the other person through, I mean, whether it's blackmail or it's affection, you know, you still, you know, you have to care for that person.
Yeah, you're stuck with them no matter what.
Exactly. So like my sister, you know, once she left, I didn't realize like I'd lost that person who I could confide in and who I could talk to about personal stuff. Because I would talk to her about like my trouble, you know, like troubles at school or how I felt like I didn't fit in or, you know, like this kind of like strong sense of inadequacy that I felt all throughout middle school.
Did you go to the same middle school that your sister went to?
Yes.
Do you think that had anything to do with it?
No, because, well, there was a lot of like, oh, you're Alexa's brother. And that's what I was known as to certain groups.
Yeah, I know for my little brother because I am the older sibling. There is no older sibling above me.
Yeah.
Everyone knew Andrew, my little brother, as Griffin's brother
Yeah.
Like there's actually teachers that would accidentally call him Griffin.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That never happened to me. That'd be a little weird. Mm-hmm. Well, not really, but you know.
Well, I'm told he and I look similar.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen your brother, so I can't really say.
Yeah, let's keep that from happening.
Well, now I wanna.
Well, I'm just scared to see you two meet.
Yeah?
Because he has too much dirt on me.
Gonna have to talk to him at some point. Anyway,
Moving right along.
anyway, yeah, and so I realized like I'd lost that person who I could talk to about like girl troubles, or you know troubles with just people,
Yeah, just life in general.
Exactly, and she was the person I would go to when I had a bad day. She was the person who I would talk to if I needed advice. In school specifically, or with just social interaction, because like social interaction was and in some ways is a very big challenge for me. Like especially in middle school, it was a tricky thing. I just didn't know. The hardest part for me was initiating conversation.
Where did you go to middle school?
I went to Rosemont Ridge Middle School, which is a very. I don't miss it. I'll just say that.
I know that. I know it pretty well.
You've probably heard some stuff.
Yeah, I used to live by it.
Yeah. So. I don't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
And
they have a nice track though.
They have a very lovely track. Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful school. It's just stuff that goes on in the school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was when I started kind of becoming self-aware and kind of like aware of how I presented myself. And, when you become aware of that, you become very self-conscious. Mm-hmm. And you become very like, well, is this how I should do it? Or is this right for me? Or
you realize you have this image now.
Exactly. You realize people see you in a certain way. And when that happens, I just shut down. Like I just became rude. I didn't talk to people really. I had like 2 friends in the school. It was a tough one at the time. Mm-hmm. In hindsight, I'm happy that it went the way it did because it made me appreciate having more friends now.
Yeah.
I
know for me, I didn't have that problem in middle school because I went to a small K through 8. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shout out to St. John's.
Wait, St. John's the Apostle?
Yeah, in Oregon City.
Right on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to go to church there.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that. Because
we might have, yeah,
as well. But no, I didn't really have that problem because my friends in elementary school were my friends in middle school, and then I went on to high school with them, and then that's kind of where I started to experience this.
Right.
Where that just dropped. They kind of just dropped off. Mm-hmm. Like I was friends with a couple of them. I still consider myself friendly with them, but it's not like, oh, I have this problem, I'm going to them.
Right.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about because little brother's going through that kind of right now.
Right.
Yeah, I know. This is gonna get a little sad for a little bit.
No,
because I want to bring this up. One of the saddest points I've seen my brother, and you will probably relate to this because you mentioned it earlier, was when I moved into the dorm.
Yeah.
He left me this really awesome letter, and I'm not going to recount it for personal reasons.
Yeah.
But he also left me this little so I lofted my bed, and little did I know it, but all of my family did this. They left me these little notes written in Sharpie behind and on the wood, and so I didn't. It's something along the lines of "You're the best friend that I've ever had," or then that I ever will have.
Jeez Louise, man.
It's like, oh kid, don't make me cry right now.
Yeah. Okay. That one cuts deep.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, buddy. Andrew, I love you.
Yeah. Shout out to Griffin's brother.
Shout out to siblings in general.
Shout out to siblings. Yeah.
For dealing with your other siblings and the love that you share.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. You mentioned friends splitting off, which is something that happened to me really quickly in middle school. One of these friends who I was very close with, and it was one of those situations where they tried to split us up because we had a lot of classes together.
Yeah.
But we could just like look at each other and make the other one laugh till they cried. And And one day we were talking, and he just kind of goes like, well, have you ever noticed how like we look different? You know, like we dress different from these kids, whatever kids. I just kind of went, well, not really. I don't really care. You know, I like the way I look. I'm comfortable, and that's all that matters. And he just kind of went, yeah, but like, I don't know. We just kind of I feel like we get treated differently because of it, And I'm just like, who cares? Like, I don't care,
Yeah, you realized that one early on.
Yeah, and so we got into this big fight about how he doesn't want to get treated like dirt because of how he dresses or how he acts or what he's into. And I was mad at him because I felt like he was kind of betraying.
Yeah, kind of backing out,
like, oh, well, if you don't want to be like this, then I don't want to be around you because you're not what I want, And I'm like, well, okay, and that hurt. That.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I kind of had that.
Yeah.
I have this one front. Things have changed on this one front where she and I are friends now. But when we moved, I knew her from kindergarten to 8th grade, and she and I we were great friends. But then at high school, something just changed in her, where it was like, I don't want to be associated with anything that happened to me in elementary and middle school.
Right.
Don't want to be associated with any of the people. And eventually she came around, but it was just like, that hurts.
Yeah.
It's like we were close.
Yeah, it stings, and you just, I don't know. I mean, I'm realizing now that my friend and I, we were going through the same thing, but we were handling it differently. He was like, oh, I got to be different now. Whereas I was doubling down, where I was like, no, this is me. You have to deal with it.
Yeah. I think those are the kind of the two ways that people go about that.
Yeah. And one is, I don't really know. I don't really want to say that one is better than the other because
whatever fits you fits you.
Exactly.
You.
But the one that worked for me is the one was doubling down because it got me to where I am now, and it made me who I am now. And I quite like who I am now.
Yeah.
So welcome to super depressing time with super personal time with Nick and Griffin, or Griffin and Nick.
Welcome to very sadness.
Yeah.
With really happy, upbeat music. We started
the Sonic soundtrack.
Yeah, the music this week comes from the game Sonic Lost World.
Gotta get sad.
Yeah, not the greatest game, but wonderful soundtrack.
Jeez Louise. It's just that kind of, I think it's the rain.
The rain is making us sad.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yikes. Yeah, but let's keep going on the track a little bit, because here's a kind of sad story for me.
Okay.
This is kind of going along with that. It was kind of like how I realized I needed to make friends back in high school. So I didn't really fully realize like I am completely on my own now in high school until about halfway through freshman year. So it was to the point where during lunch I would just sit in the library and do homework.
Oh man.
For half of the year, I would just sit and do homework.
All right.
It made my evenings great because I could just mess around.
Yeah, but
it was still like, it was really sad. Like, I'm just sitting there in the corner of the library, headphones on, doing homework.
Right.
And I didn't meet anybody.
Yeah.
I met people through football, thank God. I'm not exactly close with most of those people anymore.
Right.
There's a couple. There's two in particular.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, like life goes on.
Yeah.
The world spins madly on.
Yeah.
But it got to the point because like at first I had friends in there with me, and then one by one they started to realize what they were doing and they left.
Right.
And then I was kind of like the last person to figure it out. Like, I need to go out there. I need to meet people. I need to see humans. So yeah, everyone goes at their own pace.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't. So after I kind of went through my whole thing in like 6th grade and early 7th grade, I was very standoffish to people. I didn't really talk to anyone. And then something switched in me in freshman year of high school where I just kind of went, hey, wait a minute. What if I tried being nice to people? Because I don't really have a lot of friends. And two of my closest friends have moved away. So I got to try something different now. And then I started to try to be nice to people. And what do you know? I started making friends. And I made some friends who I'm still close with now. Shout out to Craig Wright, if you're listening, homie. He's the one who got me into playing guitar and got me into punk rock. You know, he was kind of like, I don't know. I was sitting at lunch listening to something. I think I was listening to like the White Stripes or something. And he's like, oh, if you like them, you know, you should check this guy's out. You know, have you heard of The Clash? Have you heard of, stuff that I had never listened to before and was not completely unaware of.
Good old classic rock.
Yeah. And so he just was like, yeah, if you like that, check these guys out. And so him and I became very close because we were into the same thing. And then he played bass. I had another friend, Liam, who I've known forever and is my best friend, and I love him very much. We just have that lifelong connection. He plays drums.
Oh, perfect.
So, and they were just like, you know what's missing?
Guitar.
My man. And I had tried to play guitar before that. And I didn't have the patience. It was like, why isn't this happening? Why can't I play well? I just was impatient.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Angus Young overnight.
Yeah, guitar takes time.
Exactly. And I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just wanted that instant gratification. So, but then they were just like, hey, here's some really simple songs. You're not going to be Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
But you're going to be able to play. So they showed me how to play White Stripe songs, how to play Black Keys songs.
You can't go Jimi Hendrix, but you might be able to go plain White Tees.
Exactly. They showed me how to play, just all kinds of like cool songs. And then, I started getting into my own thing. And yeah, and we kept playing and playing and playing. And we just got better slowly.
I mean, practice makes perfect.
Exactly. And we just, and now we can get together and play and just like, we don't have to talk at all. We can just, one of us will just start playing and we'll go for an hour, and it's just, it's that kind of thing where it's like, we just know what the other one's going to do before they're going to do it, essentially.
Yeah. Speaking of music, though, we are going to take a quick break.
Nice.
That was the worst transition.
Swish.
That was the worst transition I've made in a while. When we come back, though, more stories. Stay tuned.
You're killing the game, man.
right, welcome back to Unexpected Consequences on KBR Corvallis. Before the break, we were talking a little bit about some musical stuff.
Yes.
You mentioned about guitars, so let's dive into that a little bit.
Okay.
How did you learn to play guitar? Was it these guys teaching you?
It was a combination of things. It was a bit of like them showing me songs, and then I went to a guitar teacher, very nice man named I kid you not, Kenny Lavitz.
Huh.
Like Lenny Kravitz,
But
reversed. But it's Kenny Lavitz. And fun fact for those of you at home, my dad's name is Steve Miller. Now,
many jokes.
When they met, he was like, "Hey, I'm Kenny Lavitz." My dad went, "Hey, I'm Steve Miller," and just went, "Huh, want a jam?" And so, yeah, bad jokes ensued. It was great. But yeah, really cool guy. Taught me a lot of like fundamentals, like scales and how to properly change between chords, and well, not properly, but how to do it effectively and quickly so that you don't have to like, it's a lot less work. And then I stopped when I started coming here. So I went to him for about 2 years, and then came here and I just started playing. It wasn't really sensical. It was just like me
just jamming,
riffing. Yeah. And I think in the past like year, I've gotten to a point where I'm like, hey, I'm not terrible.
Yeah.
I'm mediocre. I'll take it.
So how long have you been playing guitar?
Well, okay. So I started initially when I was about 8, and then I did that until quote unquote played. Didn't really play that much. I did that until I was about 12, and then I stopped. And the guitar just took up space, essentially.
Yeah.
And then I started again when I was about 16. So officially, in my mind, 5 years.
Yeah, I've been playing guitar since the 6th grade.
Okay.
And I haven't put it down yet because I love my guitar.
Yeah.
So you do the math if you wanna. I'm not going to.
Oh goodness. So what, like 7 years? 6, 7 years?
6, 7, yeah.
Yeah.
I love my guitar though. There was always something like my music teacher's name was Jerome Couture.
Okay.
You look like you recognize that name.
No.
Oh, well. He used to teach music actually at one point at Westland High.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. I might have missed him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, he got into a car accident at one point though.
Oh wow.
And it stopped him from being able to teach there, but eventually he rehabilitated himself to start his own deal.
Cool.
Shout out to you, Jerome, though, because like honestly, I would probably not be loving music as much as I do without it.
Right.
But there's always something for me, at least, about playing the music versus listening.
Yeah.
Like playing has given me a much higher appreciation.
Yeah, it's one of those things of like, I thought all these different bands were super overrated. Until, like, for example, for a long time, I thought the Beatles were overrated. I didn't see what the big deal was until I started playing music. And I started to try to write songs when those songs will never be heard by anyone. Because
writing songs is difficult.
Because they're terrible. Anyway, and then I realized, like, oh, wow, these guys
killed it.
These guys were machines. Paul McCartney was a flip-flopping machine, man. I tell you what.
Amazing.
And John Lennon was very obviously, but they were one of those situations where the whole was greater than the sum of its parts. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm not super into the solo stuff personally.
Yeah, for me, really the only one I get into solo wise is Paul McCartney.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the better. I think the best stuff, the best post Beatles stuff is George Harrison.
Yeah, his is pretty great.
All Things Must Pass is a masterpiece. But
yeah, right. But I mean, with Paul McCartney and Wings though was pretty great.
Yeah, and
it's all great
it's
music,
all good, but like I don't know. I'm not huge on John Lennon solo stuff personally.
Really, just Imagine.
Imagine is its own thing,
it's overrated, but I still love it.
Yeah, it is.
But here's a little Beatles story for you with me playing guitar.
Okay.
One of the first songs I learned to play on the guitar was Blackbird.
Of course.
Pretty difficult song to play actually because it's a lot of finger movement. up and down the neck of the guitar.
Right.
But you're also finger plucking and changing that.
Yeah. I know.
Anyways, I learned the song in, I don't remember the exact, let's just say January.
Uh-huh.
And I had a recital in March. And we had this big group of people playing in it.
Right.
And I was like, I was determined. I want to be in this group.
Yeah.
Worked my butt off for 2 months trying to master this song. And in the end, I couldn't play it well enough.
Yeah.
I was not with the group, which kind of bummed me out, like as it was.
Yeah.
I got to play Sweet Home Alabama though, so I mean that was awesome.
Okay.
This was my first year playing guitar. Anyways, let's fast forward a couple years, and now I'm in high school and stuff, and I go to my first open mic night. I didn't plan ahead what I was going to play.
Right.
I got up there and realized, oh no, I didn't pick a song.
Yeah.
And I pick up my guitar. Like, they didn't introduce what I was doing or anything because we didn't, like, do that back at the time. I'm like, okay, what do I play? Played a couple other songs first because each person had a 3-song set. I forget what the first song I played was. I played Reach for the Stars from Sonic Colors. One of the stupidest songs ever to exist.
And you did this in public?
In public.
Oh,
I've done more embarrassing things on stage. Trust me. I've done way more embarrassing things.
Okay.
But the last song I played was Blackbird.
Oh, cool.
And I rocked it.
Right on.
Like, that was kind of what made me realize this is what performing is.
Yeah.
And this is what I love to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Being on stage and performing was a thing that I didn't really realize I was into until actually very recently. Or being in front of like people and like an audience. Because I'd played, fun fact, actually, we had a guitar recital, like Lenny, I already screwed it up. Kenny Lavitz would put on these little guitar recitals in these coffee shops in Portland, and in like Tualatin and stuff. And he would invite students that he liked, the ones that he thought were like, who they had a thing or a song or a thing that they did well, and he wanted them to do it. So he invited me, and fun fact, the song he wanted me to play was none other than Blackbird by the Beatles.
It's such a great song.
And, it was one of those things where I was so nervous, I didn't look up. I just stared at my feet the whole time. So you could say I was a shoegazer without all the echo. Anyway, stupid genre joke for nerds out there. Anyway.
Some of us got it.
Some of us. Anywho, and so, and I remember after I finished playing the song, I just darted over to the table where my parents were at, and I just like head on table, did not look at anyone or talk to anyone for the rest of the night because I was just so frightened. And then he asked me to do it again, a different song. I played Lightning Bolt by Jake Bugg.
Ooh, good song.
I love that song. And that went a lot better, but I had to sing.
Ooh.
My mom recorded it.
Oh.
And now I'm not a singer, in case you couldn't tell. And yeah.
Moms love to record.
Yeah, they do. And I told my mom, if I see that anywhere on the internet, I'm not talking to you anymore.
All right. Well, Nick's mom, I need you to do me a favor. I need this video.
Please. Mom, if you love me, I can't do that to her. I can't give her that ultimatum.
I do have her email.
Oh no, you do. Oh no, I forgot.
Objects are now in motion, everybody.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You mentioned writing songs, though. It's a rough one. Here's one for you. I performed one of my written songs once.
No.
All throughout my open mic nights at high school, because I was really into these, and I'd love to bring someone in to talk about them at some point.
Yeah.
I have, again, things in motion. Every time I went, there was always someone that performed some original song. And it was great. It was amazing. Like, they were always awesome. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write my own song. Six song attempts later, I can't do this.
Yeah.
10 song attempts later, I'm like, okay, maybe I finally have something good enough. And it wasn't terrible. I mean, I think it was horrific, but other people liked it.
Yeah.
There's a difference between performing someone else's song and performing your own song.
It's a whole new kind of pressure.
You're putting yourself out there when you perform music.
It's a part of yourself.
This is a whole nother level. Terrified. What do I do?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I don't regret it for a second.
Yeah, that's good then.
I told myself I was going to do it, and I did it.
I mean, yeah, if you're happy with it, then that's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, this was one of those sold out open mic nights I talk about.
Oh yeah.
Actually, shout out to those guys though. They have a performance tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
I'm not going to promote it or anything.
Not a promotion.
It's not a promotion, but
it's just a friendly
it's
reminder.
Kind of proud friend moment because
yeah. I know what you mean.
I really helped build that up, and me and my friends, we've really helped build that up to the point that it is now. And I think they're performing at they rented out like a church.
Oh, cool.
Like last year it was Alberta Rose. This year it's some church.
A church in Portland?
Yeah.
Like an old defunct church? Or is it still like a church?
No, it's still a church.
Oh, okay, never mind. There's a music venue that used to be a church, and they keep it pretty much intact. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They a lot of like old
Imago Dei. Do you know that?
Can't say I've heard of it.
That's where it is.
Okay.
At least that's what I've been told.
Yeah.
But no, shout out to them. I love them.
Yeah.
They're all awesome beans.
Totally.
Dang it, Sarah's got me saying
yeah,
beans.
it's infected.
I blame you, Sarah. I know you're listening.
Hello, Sarah. It's lovely to see you.
Final topic of the day. Because we got 15 more minutes to kill.
Totally.
We've been talking about music. I'd say it's safe to say music can change lives.
Yeah, totally.
Have you ever kind of had that kind of experience where music has really affected you?
Oh, yes.
And I know you have.
Oh, yes. I guess I'll go with the biggest impact on my life. It was Weezer. Shocking.
Wow, really? Sorry, for those of you that don't know,
I like Weezer a lot, and Griffin is well aware of this fact.
How many albums do you have?
I have all of them. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And I have a lot of their single compilations. I also have some of their like unreleased stuff. It's fine,
hey,
Griffin.
Say it proud to the world.
It's fine.
Weezer is good. Weezer is wonderful.
They're hit or miss. I love this band very much, but I tell you what, they are spotty, in terms of quality.
Could you say they're decent at best?
No. Okay, yeah, they're decent. No.
No, you really can't, because there's some really amazing stuff.
I think Rivers Cuomo is a very talented guy. I just think at times he kind of gets a little, he gets in his own way in terms of songwriting, and he doesn't let himself really like write the song. He just tries to like fit a style.
Yeah, I get that.
Which is problematic. But so I was I was 17 and I was going through some girl trouble because there was a girl I really liked. And she was cool and she was different, man. All that generic stuff.
All the stuff you think when you're 17.
Yeah, all the stupid stuff. And so I liked her a lot. She didn't like me in the same way. And she made that very clear. And, so I backed off and we were still friends and all that. And I was really sad about it. And I didn't know who to turn to, like I talked to my sister about it a lot. And then I don't know how it happened. I think my buddy Craig gave me a few songs off of Pinkerton.
Pinkerton. And
I listened to El Scorcho, and that song blew my mind because, the chorus is, I'm a lot like you. I'd be good for you and you'd be good for me, that song. And, and it's a song about like how, they're good together, but it's not going to happen, and that's how I felt.
And to round this out, we will now be listening to El Scorcho by
Weezer.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that to you.
Yeah. And then I was like, hey, this Rivers Cuomo guy gets me. And so I listened to Pinkerton obsessively. And then I listened to the Blue album at the same time. And they have a song called Only in Dreams. And that song destroys
Wrecked
me.
ya?
Yes, and it's 8 minutes long. So, but it's a great song, and I just got obsessive because I felt like, well, this guy writes really good rock songs, and it's about stuff that I can relate to, you know?
Yeah, and they're honest.
Yeah, and I felt I guess vindicated would be a proper word, or like supported
Supported would be a good word
in my
for that.
feelings. Like I felt like my feelings were valid, you know?
Validated, maybe?
I'm not a smart man. Anyway,
But
yeah, and
somehow we're here.
I just felt validated by this band. And so I just listened to them obsessively. And they're still my favorite band, even though since they put out some stuff that I'm not huge on.
That stuff just doesn't exist. No, actually it does. It's not terrible. It's not.
Which
great.
one?
Just more of the recent stuff.
Yeah, Ratitude. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, you said it, not me.
Yeah. No, but you know, I think if you really like something, you can look past something like that,
Yeah.
you know, and still appreciate them for what they did and what they were able to do.
Yeah, I know for me that band is very much Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
It's no secret to people out there that I'm a huge Imagine Dragons
Right.
fan.
Yeah.
They recently dropped the pre-order for their new album, and I jumped on that as quickly as humanly possible. For me, the song though was "It's Time,"
Uh-huh.
because it was kind of that point where it's going like, okay, who do I want to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
And kind of same situation, girl troubles, stuff happens.
Of course.
Where there was a chance, but she ended up moving away. But that's kind of when I realized, like, I regretted not saying anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it got to the point where there's a line in the chorus. Well, it's kind of the whole chorus, but it's time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bigger than then. I'm the same as I was. Won't you understand? I'm never changing who I am. Mm-hmm. And that's when I kind of realized, I'm like, okay, I am me. I have no reason to change that. Nothing is going to change that. Mm-hmm. And that's music.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing what it can do. And you know, there are certain songs that I listen to. In the words of Craig Finn, certain songs get so scratched into our souls. Anyway,
we could go on this for hours.
Anyway,
Hours.
yeah, there are certain songs that I listen to, and it just takes me back to a time and a place. Like listening to like early modern baseball, just like takes me back to my dorm room automatically. Because I discovered them freshman year, and once again, I was like, "Hey, these guys." Well, it's a double whammy because not only did these guys sing about stuff that I was going through, but they also were my age. You know?
Oh yeah, they at that time, yeah.
Yeah, we're roughly the same age. So I was like, so they're me. You know, like I am them and they are me. You know, we could be the same person.
Yeah.
And so I just fell head over heels for that band. And yeah, been listening ever since. Their newest album, love it dearly.
Yeah.
Not a promotion.
Not a promotion, we just enjoy it.
I'm very affectionate. And yeah, and there's some other stuff that takes me back to like high school, like the Black Keys.
Yeah.
Takes me back to junior year, my first concert actually. I saw them on the El Camino tour.
Really?
In the Rose Garden, and back when it was still called the Rose
Rose
Garden.
Garden.
That's right.
Yeah, for me, that band's Ex-Ambassadors. Ex-Ambassadors and Echo Smith.
Oh, okay.
Because those are two of the bands I saw in high school.
Oh, very cool.
Imagine Dragons too, but among the
Yeah,
schools.
yeah.
That's a good place. I feel like that's a pretty good place to end it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Thank you all for watching. Nick, anything to promote? Your own show? Twitter
Yeah,
handle?
check out Feelings and Junk every Saturday morning from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. That's right, it's the early bird special.
Or
It's
the late
me,
night.
DJ Mantooth, which is my DJ name, of course, and my lovely co-host, DJ Kid Cactus.
All right. Of course, you can always find unexpected consequences every Thursday at 3 p.m. on KBVR Corvallis. Thank you all for watching. Of course, you can follow me at GravityPat on Twitter for the latest updates. Who will be on the show? If you want to be on the show, tweet at me. We'll see if we can work something out. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, keep on keeping on. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.